welcome to this strange video. Well, not so much strange as it is just unexpected. And maybe not so much for you, but for me, I didn't expect to be doing this video. I got a comment. Now, of course, that's not exactly rare. I mean, I don't get 1,000 a day, but I still get a fun amount of comments per video. I mean, there are many videos that don't get any, but non-important. It is a comment I got from Dirt of the Gods. A dude I have to thank because, well, that is the dude that made my logo. Yes, I will never stop thanking you because it's fucking awesome. But his comment was, have you thought about doing videos in Dutch? That way you may appeal to more people that are also in the Netherlands. Now, have I thought about it? Well, kind of obviously yes, but for me to think about something is kind of like asking somebody if they breathe today. It's a case of obviously. But I'm kind of hesitant of actually doing it. And there are many sides to this. For one, it would kind of feel like a betrayal to the people that watch me now, because, well, the two people I know that watch my stuff, of one I know that he's not Dutch. And really, unless you are Dutch, you don't speak Dutch. Just, if you're not from the Netherlands, there is no chance in hell you'll speak Dutch because there is no reason to speak it. None. And the other, I don't know, but I, for some reason, think that he doesn't. I don't remember why I think that, but I think that. So, then doing videos in Dutch would feel like, yeah, okay, sure, you have watched my stuff before, I know you guys, but I'm just going to do this for completely different people. Like I said, it feels kind of like a betrayal. It feels like it doesn't feel right to me. Of course, this is a rather silly reason because that's two people, but yeah, it's still a thought. It's still something that's in my mind. Of course, there are actually more meaningful points to make as well. For instance, if you make videos in English, you have, I think, the most people that can watch it. I mean, I think there are more Chinese-speaking people, but one, they're all in China, and two, I don't think that I'll have any appeal with them because, well, I'm not an Asian person. I don't have that culture. I don't think there's a lot of overlap between us. And maybe something, if I remember correctly, Spanish is also spoken a lot. I think. Don't know exactly. But yeah, of the two languages that I speak, there are a lot more people that speak English than that speak Dutch. Of course, this also means more competition. Sure, there are more people that I appeal to, but there are also way more people that speak it, so that can make content for them. And when I think about it, I don't think I personally watch many people. I think I watch like one person that's not a native English speaker. So that is of course something for me to consider. While with Dutch, yes, there are way less Dutch-speaking people, but there are also way less people that will make content just for Dutch people. So that would basically be an argument for making Dutch videos. Because yes, there are less people, but it's a more niche audience with less people making stuff for them. Then there also is the point of, how do I appeal to? Because I think that I'm a rather niche type of person. I'm not your standard very excited person. I'm the type of person who overthinks everything all the time. Now, of course, there will be people in the Netherlands who that appeals to. But I don't think that a lot of those people don't speak English just as well as I do. Of course, so I would appeal to them just as much if I did stuff in Dutch, but I think it's mostly just as much or slightly more. I don't know if it would make a huge difference. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in that. I'm also making a Dutch version of this video, so yeah, let me know if you watch more of my stuff if I did stuff in Dutch, but I don't think that I would appeal to many more people if I do stuff in Dutch. I mean, maybe I would, but it doesn't feel like that would be the case. And then there's also the point of, am I able to? Because the main content on my channel, I think at least, is Let's Plays. Now for a Let's Play, it's of course very important that you have a game. Most games are in English. They are all at least voiced in English because, well, there are countries that get dubs. If I remember correctly, at least for movies, Germany is huge in dubs. But the Netherlands have always... we don't have enough people for that normally. We also have a tendency to share, if we get dubs, and that's generally only for kids' movies, then we tend to share them with Belgium. Which means that we sometimes have Dutch dubs and sometimes... oh god, the Belgium version of Dutch. There is a word for that. I don't know that word. I always forget it already in Dutch. I don't know that word in English. But in the Netherlands, for the Netherlands, dubs aren't common. Especially not for games. Maybe we get subs, maybe we get subtitles that are translated, but even that is pretty rare. Now there are probably plenty of people who could play an English game and then make a Dutch video. The thing is, I'm a terrible translator. Which is going to make this video interesting because I am making the English version first and then I'm going to redo the entire thing in Dutch. But I'm a terrible translator. If you tell me a word in English and you tell me to say it in Dutch or vice versa, it's going to take quite a bit of time. I'm terrible at it. Now, as most people hopefully notice, I'm not terrible at English, but when I'm doing stuff in English, everything in my head is going in English. I'm just in full English mode. And I kind of need to switch. I need time to switch between the two. Now, this is of course a huge issue switching takes time. Just like you can't multitask, I can't do two languages at the same time. And yeah, multitasking isn't actually a thing people can do. I mean, well, unless you can do it without thinking about it, but if you have to think about something, then you can't multitask it. What we call multitasking is just your brain is actually switching between the two tasks. And, well, that switching takes time. That's why multitasking works less efficiently than just doing one thing. If you just do one thing and then the next thing, you don't switch as much between the tasks because that switching takes time. Now, for me, switching between languages also takes time. And when I'm in Dutch mode and I see English, I easily switch over to English. English is almost more my natural language. If I'm not talking to people, if I'm just on my own, I tend to do more in English than I do in Dutch. For easy instance, I have a tendency to write the instead of het, which is the Dutch version of the. So if I then have an English game and I see something in English, I either am going to have to put effort into not immediately switching to English, or I have to switch to English to read that, to pick up what that says, because those are also different things, which is also very hard for doing things like Let's Plays, because reading out loud and actually reading, in my brain at least, are very different things. If I read something out loud, I do not pick up what it actually says. That's why reading in my Let's Plays always takes long, because I read the thing twice. First I read it out loud and then I read the same line again, actually reading the thing. But yeah, that can be a whole other video again. But yeah, if I play an English game, I would spend a lot of time switching between Dutch and English, I think. Which, of course, isn't a really big option. I mean, I could do that, but I could make Dutch videos, but I would have to do it in things where I don't have to switch. And the games where I can do that is very limited. Because it's not just that the game can't have voices or something, or doesn't have a lot of text. One or a couple English words can switch me to going to English. And unless I'm seeing Dutch words as well, or hearing Dutch words, I'm not easily switching back. And even when speaking Dutch, I have a tendency to put English words in it. So yeah, that's kind of the predicament I'm in with making videos in Dutch. I don't think that... Well, one, I kind of don't like the idea on an internal level, because it would feel like a betrayal to the people who watch my stuff now, even though that is obviously probably stupid. The appeal is... I mean, either I can go for a more niche appeal with a higher chance of them watching me, or a wider appeal with less chance of each person watching me. There is the case of... I personally don't think that people who would want to watch me don't speak fine enough English, and the content I can make in Dutch is limited. Of course, if you would want to see me make Dutch videos, tell me, because then I can take that into consideration. I might do that, but yeah, this is kind of the thing. This is kind of the reason why I don't think that... Well, this is the reason why I'm not very inclined to do so. I mean, I might just make a test video as well today. I think you can put Minecraft into Dutch, so maybe I could make a Minecraft video, but I don't feel very inclined to do so. I do have to say, thank you very much for this comment, because this has been in my mind for like the entire day now, which is for about 7 hours or so. This has been in my mind. Now, for some that's probably terrible. Oh god, having a fault in my mind for 12 hours. 12/7. I can remember numbers. But thinking about something for 7 hours, that's terrible. To me, that is amazing. I love that type of stuff. So yeah, I am not terribly inclined to make videos in Dutch, but I might give it a try. And I guess we'll then see how things work out. This has been Vinix, saying farewell.